Hey everyone, Nikki D from 5DogFarm. If you're new to the channel, thanks for coming over. And if you're a long-time subscriber, thanks for coming back and watching. Mr. Blue Jeans did a cool thing. As most of you know, we are in the midst of beginning drywalling and getting our farmhouse in order. We tried to get everybody else set up. I still have the garden. We have livestock who had babies. We're learning about all of that. Everything sort of happened all at once. And truthfully, it was all our own fault because we just bit off more than we could chew. But we rose to the occasion, let the farmhouse be as it was, and took care of everything else. Now we're kind of getting into the groove where we can get back to our own home and really turn it into a home instead of a place that has framed walls and nothing else much in it except for every stitch of thing that we own because we closed our storage units down. And I've got tools and things you don't want in your home in here because we just had to put everything we owned in here. So we're working around all of it. What you see behind me is my first project. I drywalled a wall here first because I knew I was going to cover it up. And it had been a long time since I had done drywalling. And I figure if I'm gonna be covering the wall, this is a great wall to practice on because you won't see the mistakes. And it did help. It reminded me of, well, it just reminded me of things I had forgotten and what to do and how to do it. So that was great. And I've got a series coming up on how I drywalled this wall and textured it, and even maybe a little bit, I can't remember now, but I think I might have a little bit about the cabinets that I put up as well. But this was a dream of mine for anybody who's a crafter. Organization is key, and I have been dreaming of a sewing wall because I am just a fabric freak. I love fabric, and so I'm super happy about this. So you'll see this in a lot of the shots where I'm making things. Our farmhouse doesn't have power, that's fine. Eventually it will have solar. I opted out of the electric that everybody else on the farm has. The initial idea for anybody here new was Mr. Blue Jeans and I were going to move to some land, and then the kids got involved, and then my mom wanted to come, so there had to be some compromises. My mom being in her 80s, of course she should have power. So power came to the land. It was one place I wasn't going to compromise. I didn't want it. I had said I was going to be off-grid, and so I did not compromise on power. We tried for water. Our wells were a bust, an expensive bust. We did rainwater for the first three years, maybe 3.5, 3 years, which was a bulk of our time taken collecting, making sure it's purified, hauling, bringing it in. The water was something. So finally, when the wells both were useless, I broke down and said, okay, we'll bring in water, because rainwater was, I was panicked about my garden. There were times that we did not get enough rain for the garden, and one of the key aspects of coming onto some land for Mr. Blue Jeans and I was cleaner food. So I said, okay, I have experience with using IBCs and collecting rainwater for the garden. We'd probably need to double our amount, and if we tripled the amount of IBCs we have, I'd probably be much more comfortable watering the garden with rainwater. But water came, everybody's happy, and I will tell you, it is a luxury. So we will have water pumped into the house. However, both Gigi and Mr. Blue Jeans and I have 2,500 gallon rain barrel tanks that we will in the future hook up because I just wanted to be off grid. So there you go. So getting back to why I'm standing in front of this great big giant box, part of us starting to work in the farmhouse and me drywalling is dust. Lots of dust when you drywall, and our little vac that I had, one of these little ones that I had been doing to clean our wood stove that we bought and all that, is not going to keep up. So Mr. Blue Jeans surprised me, and he picked up the beast, which it is, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to unbox it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's a 12-gallon wet vac. It's by a company called VacMaster. Had really good reviews. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wrestle this to the ground because it's just a little too big. But you can see here, you know, what it says. Obviously, beast, they're not kidding. 12 gallons, 55 horsepower. 55 horsepower, good Lord. Oh, 5.5. It's like 55 horsepower will suck me into it. 5.5. Where are my glasses? Here they are. I'll be wearing those next. And it says that it can lift 60 inches of water. Hope to goodness we don't get 60 inches of water anywhere that we'd have to vacuum it out. But I guess it can happen. So I think it looks great. Being 12 gallons, it should definitely keep up with the drywall. But for right now, what I'm going to do, like I said, is wrestle this thing, get it open, start unpacking it, and showing you what we've got here. So just give me a second. Well, I will say it was taped really, really well, so that's nice. And it came, as you saw, that box was not dented or anything, so it shipped really well too. So what do we have here? Well, typical vacuum kind of corner accessory nozzle. As you can see, they were careful about how it was packed. Very nicely done. Just want to make sure there's no accessories inside these pieces of cardboard. Well, very nicely done. It looks pretty cool. And that's not small. That is a beast. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, the other tubes. All right, so I'm going to guess that the other items are on the inside. And if I actually put my glasses on here, it says lift, so we lift. Okay, this is nice, especially for somebody like me, it's a little smaller. That's very nice. Look at that filter, you guys. Yeah, there's a filter for you. All right, so there's that. There's a little bag here, so that must have something special in it for us. Some screws, all right. Hoses inside, the rest of the accessories, the casters, all kinds of fun things are inside. So I'm going to take all of these out, and then obviously we're going to be doing a bit of an assembly. So it tells me I need a Phillips head screw, which I have in my handy dandy little everything package here. I love this screwdriver. It's got just this little thing here with all different size bits. And I have had this for so long, I can't even remember where I got it, but I love it. So we'll pop the Phillips head in here. Get the scissors. Is it me, or are instructions getting tinier and tinier? It's like the print is microscopic anymore. Don't say it's me. All right, I'm taking all the bits and bobs, putting them out of the way, bringing the bucket back up, because obviously we need to put the casters on. Looks pretty straightforward. The casters will only go in one way. You can see how that is. The slot goes into the slot. So we'll do that on all four. So the screws that came on the handle of this part, they were taped to this. There's 4 of them. They are used for tightening down the casters. So I'm going to do that next. All right, those are on. Now, the instructions are talking about the hose storage rack, which are these handles, but they're already on. So I don't have to install them. They've done it for me. So it comes with the filter, but you can also get, where is it here? You can also get a bag, which when I drywall, I am going to be definitely attaching the bag to this, because the whole point is to keep the dust from blowing around. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop the accessories on, and then we'll come back and give her a test run. But that was easy. That's how simple it is to put it together. So hopefully it works as well as it goes together. We'll find out. So there's a couple of other really cool things I wanted to show you that came with this. They have a noise diffuser. For any of you that have run wet dry vacs, you know how noisy they are. And that goes up here on the top part, I'm not going to put this all the way back on because there's something else I want to show you. So you can have some noise reduction, which is great. And even on the molded piece, they have a little arrow which shows you exactly how it goes on. And there you go. I mean, that's pretty cool. Same for the hose. Little arrow on the molded piece to show you where to insert it. And boom, your hose is on. But wait, there's more. One sec. I'm telling you, this hose holder makes a great handle grip. So they also, at least in the package that we got, give you one bonus bag. Now we bought more because we have 2,800 square feet and probably even that much more of drywall. So we're going to need a lot of bags. So I want to say, if you use a filter bag, if you know you're doing dry work, obviously this is not for wet work. If you're going to use your wet dry vac for wet, then you'd want to put this over your filter. So this would get put over this. But in my case, that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm sure I will in the future. I'm going to be doing drywall dust, so this bag it is. 12-gallon bag, pops right into here. And for anybody who has bags that they use in their vacuum cleaners now, it's the same idea. You have the little hole with the rubber gasket. It just slides over the inlet here. It's kind of hard to show you and do it at the same time, but I mean, I already have it on. That's how quick it is. And then you just kind of pop it in there. You can feel it seat itself. And I have 12 gallons of joy here, ready to collect and not fly all over my house. And then, of course, they give you 2 different kinds of wand attachments. And here's something else that's really cool that I didn't expect. So this attachment comes with a little squeegee on, little rubber squeegee if you're doing, well, obviously picking up a bunch of water. But what's nice is I noticed that these will pop out. You pull them out on each side and they pop out. And they give you an alternate that has brushes on it. This is what I'll be using because I'm going to go test it on a carpet. It's just an old carpet that I have in our room right now. We have no flooring. We just have our Advantech subflooring. We have the tile, but until I get all the drywall up and done, I'm not tiling. So I've been just commandeering rugs from people who don't want rugs and throwing them down on the floor to make it a little more comfy when we get up in the morning. And that rug is in desperate need of some help because it tracks in all the hay and straw and junk from Mr. Blue Jeans, me, and the dog. So you just pop the other accessory in and you're ready to go. I'm going to go fire up the generator and we're going to see how this works because that's the next big test. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the 3 little dogs, their hair, hay, straw, any remnants, chicken feathers, anything that we can drag in comes into this room at night. And I got tired of bringing Gigi's vacuum cleaner up here, the poor thing. I mean, it's meant for regular household, not this kind of farm stuff. So that's why Mr. Blue Jeans got the VacMaster wet dry vac. So I'm going to start it up. We're going to see, 1, if it's indeed as quiet as they say with that little thing you put in the inlet, and 2, does it vacuum? Let's find out. All right, let's take a look. Before, I know, right? Ugh. Let's go look at the after. Okay, I'm pretty happy. And I don't know about you, but I thought that was pretty quiet. That's what the vacuum cleaner sounds like without that little muffler attachment, this thing. To be honest, it's still very quiet and it picks up more because obviously you're not stifling the air. So I think the muffler's nice if you're in a room that's maybe echoey and it seems a little bit too loud. It certainly does quiet it down. But I'll tell you what, right now for my purposes, the extra suction power without this and the quietness that I find the vacuum to have, well, this is great, but I will probably be using it more without this, but I definitely think this is a cool idea, and I'm sure there'll be those moments where I will be using it. Well, I would say for the first time using this brand and such a large wet dry vac, usually we've used the smaller ones, I'm happy. The sound was so much quieter than even the little teeny one I have. If you heard any in the background, that was the generator. But I was impressed by using the silencer on here, how quiet it was. The little tricks and things that they have where you can remove the brush and put the squeegee on, that's fantastic. There's Velcro around the cord, love that. So all in all, I think it's a very nice product, something that I can lift. I'm 5'2" and I can lift it up and down, which is wonderful, easy to assemble, and did the job. I'm not sponsored by this company. I just wanted to show you what we buy, what we use here on the farm, how it works, and down the road, if there's any problems, I will certainly let you know that as well. But right now, I'm thoroughly happy and going to take this back into the room and finish vacuuming that carpet. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. This is Nikki D from 5 Dog Farm, and I'll talk to you soon.